make a black president of one of those things. Puffy's got Ciroc. What if somebody fucking drinks and drives and crashes their car on Ciroc? You know what I mean? That's kind of a far-fetched example or whatever, but like I just think it's bullshit.
Oh, no doubt. And that's one of the bigger things. I mean, with the whole Trayvon Martin issue, it's been overdone. The racist thing has been overdone. I mean, how much racial tension does the media create? I'd say they're more racially active than the KKK, Black Panthers, neo-Nazis, and whatever racial superiority group or supremacy group that the Mexicans have. The mainstream media outdoes them all.
Yeah, they're trying to stoke the fire so they can have more shit to report about. That's what it honestly looks like, because they're starting to make little copycat stories. They're starting to use phrases like strongly resembles the Trayvon Martin case. There's one like around here, like somewhere around Baltimore, and it's like two Samoan dudes beat the hell out of a black kid or something. It was a neighborhood watch, and it's like, oh my God, it's very similar to the Trayvon Martin case, and it's like, it feels like an ad campaign, you know. Buy this racism. Y'all are fighting. Fight each other. Go fight, fight, fight. You know, fuck it.
I think that's one of the. Okay, have you noticed how people are trying to make race into a bigger and bigger issue? I mean, not normal everyday people, because they'll actually legitimately sit there and say, I'm not gonna bring race into this. But if you bring it up to somebody important or somebody who's just like deluded beyond belief, like Al Sharpton or Jesse Jackson, who can make anything into race, they'll do it. And
that's their job. And they're allowed to do shit like that because they're not white people. You know, like if white people did that, that would be the end. It'd be evil, racist, whitey, you know. Basically, yeah, that's kind of the point I was trying to say a second ago. Like, black people can do things that white people can't do that actually hurt society. And Jesse Jackson, or no, not Jesse Jackson so much, Al Sharpton was a fucking prime example of that shit. He's just out there stirring up shit, fucking making sensationalism.
Yeah, I mean, where's their call for accountability? Where's everyone saying they're the racists? I mean, I kind of you got a point with it's only racist white people do it. But, you know, there's only so long I can buy people saying, okay, well, it's not racist since he's black. It's not racist since he's black. But, I mean, there's got to be coming a time when, you know, that's just fucking racist. That's just fucking, I don't care if you're black, that's racist.
To anything that, you know, separates a group of people as their own and gives them all the same characteristics, you know, through phrases like white privilege and like, white people always get ahead easier than black people and white people are racist and all this stuff. All that shit is racist. But if white people call that out, then all of a sudden we're fucking Nazis and fucking KKK people and all this shit. Like, we're not allowed to play the game that the rest of the races are allowed to play. You know what I mean? And that's even more ironic that we're the one race that's singled out like that. Like, we got to shut our mouths. That's all there is to it. That's what's culturally expected of us, and nobody else has to do that. They're just blah, 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 black people and fucking Chinese people, fuck them sand niggas and shit. And they get to fucking just do whatever the fuck they want, man. Jesus Christ, sometimes a whitey wants to cut loose.
Oh, yeah, I mean, there's been a couple times where I've heard a black person, you know, crack at this, honk at that. It's like, I wonder how offended he would be if I just shouted, niggers!
Probably very offended. And it's funny as shit, because I've been on public transportation before where fights will start breaking out between a black person and a white person, and it'll have nothing to do with race. And all of a sudden, the black one goes, this white motherfucker, this white stupid honky bitch and stuff, like, and I'm a white person sitting there, like, having nothing to do with the situation that pissed this person off. And this happened numerous times. I mean, I'm just seeing a pattern, that's all. You know, white people can't get away with that kind of shit. And every time that kind of shit has happened, it's always been a white motherfucker, white this and that. And like, what the fuck? You just sit there with this like, okay.
oh yeah. And that's the thing.
Awkward.
Awkward. Billy, go get the golf clubs.
I'm not going to say anything because they're going to beat the crap out of me. I'm trapped in a fucking metal box with them. God, I'm just gonna sit here and eat my saltines and shut the fuck up.
Actually, that brings me into another ism that our society seems to be struggling with: sexism. I mean, don't get me wrong, women do have their suffering points with shit. I'll find one. Just give me a second. The pay,
The war on women.
the war on women. I don't even want to get started on that. But I mean, okay, the war on women. Have Republicans not always held the tradition of pro-life? I'm sorry, I don't want to get into that, but they've always held that tradition. They've always tried to have bills passed. Why is it all of a sudden becoming the war on women? It's just they've always done it. It's nothing new. Moving on.
Well, it's the noble intention behind some of it is to make women change their minds. You know, even though you can technically go through with the abortion, they want to make it more psychologically like mind fucking, so that there's a bigger chance that they'll say no. But they frame it as, you know, we want to show you what's really going on, so you get the chance to make the right decision. You know, no, it's really what you're doing is traumatizing the people and trying to fucking manipulate them with the trauma that you're causing. That's all there is to it. It's fucking manipulative, and it's intrusive, and it's a violation. That's how I see it. I wouldn't want something shoved up my ass as a fucking condition of me being able to get any kind of medical procedure. You know what I mean?
Yeah, don't get me wrong. That's going way too far when they're trying to do an ultrasound before they get an abortion. Now,
Yeah, let us stick this in you without your permission. You know, this is a mandated stick up you. You know, like,
yeah,
holy shit, man. Like, what? As a dude, I can't support that because you got to think what's next if they can do that. You know?
yeah, that's something I really do not like. I mean, I hate Republicans as much as I hate Democrats, but to make this war on women thing, it's nothing new. I mean, they've always been pro-life. I think there's a mandate where they have to show them how an abortion is performed. Now, I'm still pro-choice even after watching that video. Well, I'm pro-choice until there's a heartbeat. Then I got to protect it like everyone else when I get into Congress. But, you know, that's how I am. Once there's a heartbeat, then you got to keep it. I'm sorry, it's another person. You should have had the abortion beforehand.
What is that, like the second trimester or something? That happens pretty early on, doesn't it? Like, is there any clauses for if she didn't know until there was a heartbeat? You know what I mean?
No. She has to she has to know because because it takes like a few months, so she'll miss.
Some of the big fat ones, they don't know. You know what I mean? Like they just think, oh, I just feel sick or something. Like there was a big fat one that didn't know until she was at prom, and then she thought she had like stomach cramps and went and fucking had a baby in the bathroom. Had no fucking clue.
Well, if she already had the baby, then can't kill it anyway. Actually, that brings me to another thing. In Canada, the mother killed her baby and threw it into the neighbor's yard, and she got off with late-term abortion.
Are you fucking serious? Yeah, they're trying to legalize that in China, where you can like, if you don't like the kid, just fucking kill it. You know, just dump it in a plastic tub and just put it out by trash. That's fucking crazy. They're giving it a similar name too. That holy shit. You know, if that gets legalized or justified in any way, shape, or form, that's going to be the pro-life's new argument. You know what I mean? Sooner or later, you're going to be chopping up kids after they're born because it's a slippery slope. Because people like to use the slippery slope argument for every fucking thing. So, you know, it's only a matter of time before we're like toddler choppers. You know what I mean? It depends on they're going to pass a law in Hungary. You don't like your 12-year-old? Run him over with the car. Fuck it.
Oh man, I got another story after this that I want to discuss with you. But as far as the sexism thing goes, now I understand there are downsides for women, but what about the men's downsides? I mean, there was this campaign to end rape for women, and I was sitting there thinking, what about the rape for men? Is there going to be a campaign for that? Oh, men don't get raped. I think you can find plenty of guys in the prison system who will disagree with you. Or is it okay for them? Is it okay that they get raped? Because I know if I
seen that movie Big Stan.
No.
you gotta check that out.
Wow.
There's a part in that where he's like, okay, nobody's allowed to rape anybody because I don't like it because he's a badass and he can beat anybody's ass in the prison. It's Rob Schneider.
Nah.
learns karate and starts beating people up. What about the rapists? Can we rape the rapists? Yeah, well, punishment fits the crime. Go ahead. Yeah. What about the child molesters? Yeah, go ahead and rape those two. It's all good.
Yeah, but you get what I'm saying. I mean, you hear these feminists calling for equality this, equality that. Why should I have to help you then in any way? Because I'm one of those guys who will take that to the uttermost extreme. I mean, you know how a girl can sit there and smack a guy up for an hours on end, and all the guys will just be like, "What a little pussy." But the minute he smacks her back, it's, "Oh hell no, Bobby, get my 12 gauge."
Well, a lot of girls, I've heard of girls calling the police and just, saying, I'll just say you hit me. And then the dude gets arrested. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's
It just gets the, and they'll say it before they do it. Like, I'm going to call the cops, tell them you hit me. And then those are real cunts that do that. My God.
and I fucking hate that because we used to live in a society of innocent until proven guilty. Now it's woman said it, it's true. It's
Oh, no, no. If you're in the defendant's section for any fucking reason, you're going to be looked upon like you're the one who's got something to prove. Even cops will say that, It's not the way it's like theoretically set up to be. It's just how it is. If you're the one on trial, you're the one on trial.
Yeah, and then that's why a lot of people hate me because I've met a girl. Well, actually, I got two stories for this. I met a girl who said that she was hit, and I looked around like, I don't see it. I don't see it. Prove it to me. She's like, oh, like she couldn't believe it. Like I just condoned her rape.
Yeah, that shocked, disgusted reaction.
Oh,
That's their main weapon they got loaded up for anybody that challenges their lie, in case it is a lie. I'm not saying I know anything about that situation at all, but in case it is, that would be their first reaction probably.
yeah. Well, the thing was, I knew the guy, and I knew where he was. He couldn't have been around her. But I decided, let's fuck with her a little bit. So I decided to listen to her story, and just in case the cops got involved, I could give them, she came here, she told me what happened, even though he was there at the time. And so I'm just sitting there, uh-huh. Oh, yeah, he kicked you too. Oh, he didn't tell me that before. Oh, he raped you. Yeah.
Wow.
And then I said, well, actually, Mike has been over at the Y for the past 2 hours. Kinda contradicts what you just told me. So I'm gonna make this simple for you. You be quiet about this, about your lie, and I'll be quiet about your lie. Because think for 1 minute. Think for 1 minute. I will not hesitate. And I mean this. I will not hesitate. And I just went into a long ramble of how I talked about I'd make her life a living hell. Never brought up again. And the second story, you remember that Facebook post I made? Well, that was actually based on a real event.
Lovely.
When I was at a hookah bar, because, I was like, let's try out hookah, see what the fuss is about.
What the fuck is in that? Is it just tobacco or?
Yeah, it's tobacco, but it's somehow worse than cigarettes, speculating. But
Yeah, because you're practically sucking an exhaust pipe full of tobacco. Of course, it's worse than a cigarette.
very true. But so I'm sitting in there. There's me, one other girl, and one girl and one guy. So the girl and the guy are starting to fight. The guy who's running the shop sees this and he's like, "Yeah, fuck this," and he walks in the back. So she smacks him and is going on about how he's such a worthless piece of shit, and smacks him again, and he hits her back. He smacks her back, and so I'm sitting there all bored and shit. Take a hit of the hookah, and the girl looks at me like, "Aren't you going to help her?" And I said, "Why? She was smacking him first." And she's looking at me like, "You just condoned rape."
Rape?
She had that look on her face of like, I just condoned rape. Like the worst
Be
thing in
like,
the
thank God you're not a state prosecutor.
world. Right? That's,
Holy shit. Somebody would steal a car and she'd be like, battery.
but yeah, I'm just sitting there watching, and the girl looks over at me, the girl who's just smacked, like this appalled look, like I'm not helping her. I'm like, what? You were hitting him first. Don't look at me. I'm not gonna help you get out of this hole you dug.
Oh man, there